Standing by.
It's a PIHL hockey night in Pittsburgh. It's a great day for PIHL hockey.
As they say in PIHL hockey, let's do that PIHL hockey. Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm Matt Popchock, to be joined shortly by Kevin Zielmanski for PIHL Hockey Night Live on TenbandTV as coverage continues of the 2026 Penguins Cup Class 3A semifinals here at the RMU Island Sports Center in Neville Township, Pennsylvania, presented by the Mount Washington Shop and Save. Welcome to the jungle indeed, and welcome back to the semifinals. Peters Township Indians. Rick Tingle led PT there 15 years in a row once upon a time, and coming off a transition season in his first year as the new head coach at Peters Township, Chris Claxon has powered Peters Township back to the penultimate round of the Class 3A Penguins Cup tournament. The Indians taking on South Hill's rival Thomas Jefferson, which is walking in uncharted territory, truly. The Jaguars, coached by class of 2000, former state champion John Zeiler, a former Los Angeles King, we might add. Zeiler in his 5th year running the varsity team at TJ, and the Jags are playing in their first ever Class 3A semifinal since moving up to Class 3A for the first time in program history last season. TJ Hockey was established in 1980. They won a Penguins Cup championship in their first season of existence. Now they're trying to make even more history against a team that has practically written the book on history. Peters Township trying to earn the right to play for a 9th Penguins Cup title all time if they can get past the Jaguars, who defeated the Peters Township Indians on TJ's senior night. And we're joined by Kevin Zielmanski. We had a lot of defense between two talented defensive clubs and offensive clubs in semifinal game 1 tonight. We have two pretty talented defensive clubs here in game 2.
Yeah, looking at the season standings, it was Peters Township that finished second. They allowed 51 goals on the season, scoring 69. TJ, few more goals, 73 goals for, 56 goals against. So the differential of 18 and 17, very close, respectively. In the quarterfinals, Peters Township won 5-2 over South Fayette. They were led by Brendan Monka with 2 goals. Cameron Caruso scored a goal and an assist. Shea Lamagna did the same thing with a goal and an assist. Brady Holleran added the other goal, and Anthony Hartman faced 19 shots, made 17 saves, 89.5 goals save percentage. TJ defeated Central, as you mentioned, 3-1, finally beating Central on the season. Luca Blows had 2 goals in the 3rd period, including the empty net game goal. Michael Barnes scored 1 goal, 1 assist. It was Jacob Simon and Cam Lorenzi add 1 assist each. Ben Balducci faced 19, made 18 saves, 94.7 save percentage. And Matt, in the regular season, Peters beat TJ on October 21st, 3-0 on the shutout during the game. Goal scorers, Blake Avancic, 1, and he added an assist. Shea Lamagna had a goal and an assist. Jake Kubistek also had a goal. Jordan Cox faced 22, made 22 saves. And Jacob Hawati had 2 assists. They came back on the 29th of January. That one went to a shootout. That was won by TJ, 2-1. So the rubber match here tonight in this semifinal.
If I were to give you a list of the players who have scored a Penguins Cup clinching goal and a Whippeal Football Championship clinching touchdown in their time as high schoolers, that list would be very short. And I know you know because you called some Whippeal football earlier this season, and you've seen Cole Newpaver, number 24 in white, play 2 sports. 10 points in just 11 hockey games for him this regular season, but he has points in 6 straight, and he's one of a number of talented upperclassmen for Chris Claxon's Indians.
Yeah, Newpaver's the goal scorer for Peters Township in the first period during that, the second period during that game. That went to the shootout. So yeah, it's quite an impressive thing. I know back when I played at Central, my senior year, 87, 88, Kevin McClung was football slash hockey, but it is a very rare thing to have impact players on both. So I remember watching New Paper when the Indians were at Baldwin earlier this year. So interested to see this one here today. As we mentioned in the first broadcast, 20 Penguin Cups between the four teams, led by Peters Township. They have 8 in total. At 2A, they won in 2, 3, and 4, and then in 5. So they won 4 consecutive. And then at 3A, they won in 14, 17, 22, and 23. TJ has 5, all in 2A. That was at 98, 99, 2000. When Zeiler was on the team, Coach Zeiler played on those terrific teams, coached by Don Powell. And then they won at 22 and 24.
And in a classic case of truth being stranger than fiction, the Peters Township Indians have never beaten the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars in the Penguins Cup playoffs in 54 years of Peters Township hockey. When Zeiler played, he beat them in the 98 final and in the 2002 round, en route to a third consecutive championship for the Jaguars at the time. Third time's the charm? We'll see. Kevin mentioned number 70 in black, alternate captain Lucas Blos, one of the top scorers in Class 3A during the regular season, finishing 4th in the scoring race with 11 goals and 27 points. He had that big 2-goal effort against Central Catholic last week. The Jaguars have won 7 of their last 8. They've held 8 of their last 10 foes to either 2 goals allowed or fewer. Peters Township, coming off the big win over South Fayette in the quarters, got 17 saves from Anthony Herman, the Baldwin transfer, who's been phenomenal in goal for the Indians this season. Peters has allowed 2 goals or fewer in 5 of their last 7. Again, both teams playing stifling defense. Something's got to give here in the semifinals tonight.
One of the stats that jumped out to me in the prep for this game, Matt, is the Jaguars' power play on the season at 39.1%, 18 of 46. So that is a threat that the Indians need to be mindful of when they're playing here tonight. In the postseason, 1 for 4, so 25% in the last game.
And it was a late power play goal in regulation that forced the shootout that the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars won on senior night, which was integral to getting the number 3 seed as they took that extra point from Peters Township with a shootout win that night. TJ, the 3 seed, coming in with 13 wins and 8 losses. Peters Township, the 2 seed, coming in with 15 wins and 6 losses. Momentarily, we will hear from Austin McLean on public address, who will introduce the second of tonight's semifinal matchups.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the RMU Island Sports Center for the 2026 Penguins Cup Playoffs. Tonight, the pihl and the Pittsburgh Penguins present a semifinal matchup between the number 3 seed Thomas Jefferson Jaguars and the number 2 seed Peters Township Indians. Fans, it is time to honor America and those who serve her. Please rise as you're able. Remove your hats and direct your attention to the flags beside the scoreboard for the play of our national anthem.
The officials for semifinal game 2 in PIHL Class 3A, Buchholz and Strager. The linesmen, Carlins and Strager, as we get ready for late Monday night hockey here on the island.
That has to be an error. There can't be two Stragers out there.
Well, hopefully we'll get that clarified. And in any event, Anthony Herman, as we said, will be minding the cage to our right for Peters Township. And off to our left, it'll be Ben Balducci, who made 18 saves in the quarterfinal win over Central and has had a fine first season as TJ's starter.
Love the look by Herman with tan pads. So let's run it down real quick for Herman. He had 12-3-2 record in 817 minutes, faced 386 shots, about 34 goals, 352 saves, 2.12 goals against. The save percentage is 91.2. We'll get to Balducci here when we have a whistle.
These teams, for the first time in over a quarter century, meeting in the Penguins Cup playoffs with a trip to Cranberry on the line. The Indians moving the puck from right to left on your TV, computer, or mobile device to begin. Shea LaMagna putting it up high off the blocker of a standing Balducci. Jake Lawadi giving chase for the Indians. Lawadi, 25 regular season points, top 10 in PIHL Class 3A. Has appeared in only 3 games, counting this semifinal contest, since January 20th, however. Cam Lorenzi, Thomas Jefferson captain, with a centering pass that's cut out neatly by Cam Caruso. Caruso with a game-winning shorty last week at Princegate Arena against South Fayette, the 7 seed, and last year's AAA tournament Cinderella. Indians winning that game by a comfortable 5-2 margin. Brendan Monco scored twice that night. He dumps that puck just now for Peters Township, which makes a quick change behind the play as the Indians cycle the puck around the near boards. Angelo Maeda across. It's off the blocker hand of a standing Balducci. Balducci trying to do his best Tom Barrasso impression early in these semis as Blows has it through center for Thomas Jefferson. Blows around Maeda. Blows from an angle, and Herman is tested for the first time tonight.
Get a look right there at Anthony Herman, and Blows just kind of blows by Maeda right there. I'm going to take the cheap one, Matt. But Herman come over on that left post, was tucking it right there. Balducci was 12-7-1 in the regular season, faced 436 shots. He faced 19 more in the first round game. As that one comes to the center, he allowed 52, made 384 saves, 2.65 goals against, 81.1 save, and 2 shutouts.
And a PIHL All-Star to boot. We'll see him back on the island regardless of how the Indians season ends on Sunday, March 29th for the Makeup All-Star event on TenbandTV. But more on that later as this puck is sent out of action off the sticks of Maeda and Ellis for their respective clubs.
Yeah, it's a good thing we were able to get that rescheduled. And I think I said on the air last week with Vandriak, like, wondered if maybe it wouldn't be better at the end of the season. So now we're forced to try it, right? Because Mother Nature won that weekend and there was nothing we could do. So we'll just see how it goes.
It happened a couple of times when the PIHL was coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic and end-of-season All-Star games. So not an unfamiliar scenario for Commissioner Tom Halliburka and his staff. Around the boards, Jake Simon anticipating at the point, but it's played out through center by Captain Daniel Kovac. Older brother Ben Kovac, he too an All-Star once upon a time for the Indians and a state champion for that matter. Emery Molnar to center. He's come on strong late in the season, has Molnar. Owen Michael scored that big power play goal to tie the game the last time these teams met. He and the Jaguars going to work in the corner with help from Molnar, but the Indians exhaust the area and their fans are now making themselves heard. Molnar with a dump in off the stick of Lawadi. Lawadi trying to sneak it up for LaMagna. Instead, it will go for icing.
Trying to get that indirect pass there to LaMagna was just a little too hard right at the center ice red line, and so it's going to bring the faceoff back into the Indian zone. Buzz is going to step in. He's got Lorenzi over here, but they're going to be won by the Indians.
To the corner for Michael Burns, who had a big goal for TJ early in last week's playoff win and also set up Lucas Blos's game-winning power play strike. From his own end, Carter Artman, the sophomore defenseman, out for Lorenzi. Lorenzi met at the line by Monco. Newpaver collecting this puck for the Indians. Across two lines for LaMagna. LaMagna had a man going to goal, but he was well offside, and that was Jake Lawadi, who just now got the memo as one of the Jaguars is knocked down in the corner. TJ fans pleading their cases as Simon gets up, no worse for the wear.
That was interesting on that stretch pass, Matt. That puck stayed on the blue line. So until the puck crosses into the offensive zone, the blue line is the neutral zone. And the Indians player on the right side went in offsides. When that puck goes into the offensive zone, the blue line becomes part of the offensive zone.
And after a pregnant pause, this USA hockey crew decides that the faceoff will come at the dot just outside the Thomas Jefferson line. Gavin Salopek to take it against the other number 91, Mateo Hardobi, and Salopek wins it for the Jags. Through center, Jack Kubastek under duress, playing this puck along the near boards. Vinny Casamassa trying to put it toward goal. Behind the Peters net it goes to Kubastek. Up for Caputo, Nick Caputo. Scored his first ever varsity goal against the Jaguars just over a calendar year ago. Indians offside once more.
This one doesn't have a lot of flow the first 4 minutes.
Both teams continue to measure one another up as the Indians play it behind the Jaguars' cage, and a collision there. One of the Jaguars taken down behind goaltender Balducci. That was Michael Banks, who bounces right back up as Casamassa plays it off the goaltender's stick of Herman. Salopek avoids not one check but two, gets it to the point. This shot is denied by Herman from distance vis-a-vis Banks. Salopek throwing his weight around early in a scoreless game.
Let's get physical.
Delco Joyce getting involved behind the Peters Township goal. Fans, some of them literally up in arms as Tommy Dowden V chases down this puck. Kubastek plays it onside for Peters Township. Sprinting to the far boards, Carter Schub, the freshman. And Garrett Fetzko, the Pittsburgh Predators product, crosses the line for the Jaguars. He'll just dump it to the corner. John Zeiler wants some fresh personnel out there as Artman knocks a man down along the near side. That was Schub getting taken down as Simon retrieves this puck in the corner. Icing on PT and a penalty coming up against TJ.
Carter Artman, the guilty party.
The Indians not known for a hot power play, just 10th in the 11-team circuit during the regular season. And this is, in fact, the first power play the Indians have earned in over 3 games. Last week was their 3rd consecutive game not earning a power play opportunity.
6
if you can believe that.
On the regular season. 6 power play goals in an entire season.
They've been such a strong team 5-on-5, it hasn't mattered much. But in any event, the Indians are on the penny power play trying to break a scoreless tie early here at the RMU Island Sports Center. Penguins Cup semifinal action here in Class 3A. Monco fans on the attempted shot. It's poked up ahead and a chance shorthanded for Lucas Blos. He's a world-class penalty killer, has a pair of TJ's 5 shorties on the season. He won't get a chance that time as Monco recovered. Outletted for Lawadi. Lawadi slows the play down for Peters Township. Slips it to Brendan Monco. Monco behind the net for LaMagna. Monco across for Caruso. Caruso couldn't take that pass, and Blows will get it to center.
Blows needed to get that all the way down the ice. He went with the backhand. Didn't go far enough.
Here's our multi-sport star, Newpaver, midway through the penny power play. Taken off the puck by Simon, and the alternate captain helps his team clear the zone. TJ getting some fresh penalty killers out there with 40 to go in the minor on Artman. Banks sends it the rest of the way. Peters must regroup once again. Caruso up the right wing, chased by Burns, and cleared again by the Jaguars. Last rush perhaps for this Indians power play. Avancic outletting for Brady Holleran. Holleran playing travel hockey in Plymouth, Michigan with CompuWare before returning to Peters Township. Carter Artman, meanwhile, returns to the ice and can't take the jailbreak pass with under 10 to go in a scoreless first period. Icing on the Jags.
Close to maybe having a breakaway, by not getting it, they get the icing call, and it comes back into the zone.
Ben Balducci will watch the scene unfold to his right. Thomas Jefferson third on the penalty kill during the regular season at 87.7%, and they've got another successful one under their collective belt. Turnover to Carter Manili. Manili against the grain toward goal. Kovac looking for a deflection. Balducci ready for that one. Jaguars up to center. Here's Molnar with it. Molnar with 5 of his 6 points this season, all in the month of February. He has really come on strong late for the Jaguars, part of that 11-man senior class. One of the bigger senior classes in the PIHL this season, boasted by the Jaguars. Molnar dispossessed for a moment, but recovers from it. The save, the rebound is airmailed by Carter Merrill.
Good stick by the defenseman there, Matt, or he was going to be able to tuck that one home. Carter Merrill would have been, as you see this kind of 2-on-2, there's a poke check there, but the rebound, or maybe it was just an email. I thought the defenseman was able to get that stick in there.
Merrill scored 2 of his 3 goals in the month of February. They were both, funny enough, game winners. The 5th and the 12th.
Here's the thing, if he would have airmailed it, that faceoff would have come outside. It had to hit either the pad or the stick.
Artman to the corner for Lorenzi. Blows from the circle. He shoots. Oh, what a stop there by Herman. He just got a piece of that with his right arm. Artman from the neutral zone. Met by Newpaver. He dumps the puck. Indians play it through the rafters, well, one of the rafters in any event, and so we'll face it off in Indians ice.
Give him some thought to that roll. Maybe I have that roll wrong. Could have still been inside the zone, even though they shot it out. But another face-off for the Jaguars.
You and I both had to give pause on that one, so don't feel too bad as Herman covers, and we'll do it again from the same spot.
Yeah, whether or not I hit the stick, the pad, over, but then I was trying to remember the rule on that. But Blows doing well on the dot here, gave him a chance. They're going to get another opportunity to the right of Hartman. They just went forward there and pushed Blows off the dot and won it with a help.
Peters knows they're going to have to bring it physically against a Thomas Jefferson team that can do it just as well themselves. Again, both teams playing stifling defense down the stretch to earn their respective higher seeds in this year's Penguins Cup playoffs. And we're scoreless midway through the first period here in semifinal play. Blows over the attacking line, surrounded by white shirts. Goes backhand and just missed the bar. behind Anthony Herman.
I think Herman was surprised.
He wasn't the only one. LaMagna trying to get it beyond Gary Pritchard. Pritchard sends it back to the corner where Monco goes D to D with Caruso. Cam Caruso up for Lawadi. Lawadi from the right circle, knocked off the puck by Belos. The junior playing a 200-foot game. Ooh. Lorenzi hit at center by Maeda. Meanwhile, Burns for Belos at center, up for Lorenzi. Lorenzi trying to center it for Belos. Belos, again, attracting double, if not triple teams in the Peters zone. Lawadi trying to get behind Pritchard. He does. Lawadi slips it to Holleran. Holleran just missing. What an effort there by Lawadi. Holleran just couldn't hit the target. Schleiper, the junior defenseman, sends it around the boards in TJ territory. Intended for Casamassa, cut off by Maeda. Maeda bumped off the puck by Fetzko. Casamassa retaliating on Ivancic as the Jaguars clear it. Shub for Maeda, the defenseman. Maeda will get it hit with an icing call with 6:35 to go in the first. Still no score.
Well, I thought Maeda was he iced it because he wanted to change, and he started skating towards the bench, and he turned back for the face-off. So kind of confused as to why he just turned and fired that one down the ice, but another chance on the dot here for the Jaguars.
Casamassa off the face-off, and that's blockered aside by Herman. Casamassa had a hat trick against Fox Chapel in the season opener as Salopek and Maeda looked like two Mack trucks behind Anthony Herman. Casamassa, to finish my thought, hasn't scored since. Artman from his own corner for Salopek. Salopek one-on-one with Eric Schleiper, and Herman will play it conservatively.
Here's a look at Herman with those pads that resembled the old school leather pads from many years ago.
Looks like something Kenny Reggett would wear. Maybe with the Maple Leafs, not so much with the Penguins in his later years, but it's sort of that era, you could say. That shot denied by Herman, brown pads and all. Simon and company generating the chance as the Indians ice it again.
We don't have a count, but the Jaguars have, I think, had at least 4, if not 5, offensive zone draws. You get a scan of the stands here, the crowd for the late game of the doubleheader here to the RMU Island Sports Center, the traditional semifinal host.
Herman makes his 10th save of period one. Jaguars with a 10-2 shot advantage now as both teams seek the first goal.
Back when Coach Zeiler was playing in these games and I was coaching at Central, these traditional semifinals were at Rostraver. That's where we would always go for the semis for consecutive nights because it had enough space in the stands and enough parking lot, but it was far.
Then known as the Rostraver Ice Garden in Bell Vernon, currently known as the CFS Bank Events Center, the longtime home of the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. Merrill at center. Met by Lawadi, among others. LaMagna in the middle of that puck battle as well as Molnar gets it deep for the Jaguars. Caruso under pressure for his defensive partner, Monco. Monco to center for LaMagna. LaMagna for Lawadi, trying to recover and get it to Newpaver, but broken up by Merrill. And Peters Township will regroup. Thomas Jefferson changing lines. Final 5 minutes of this first period in the Class 3A Penguins Cup semifinals from Neville Township. Belos from the high slot, taken off the puck by Caruso. Ellis couldn't keep it in the zone. Lawadi giving chase, no icing. Banks and Lawadi get tied up. Lawadi wins the puck battle. Lawadi from an angle flips it beyond Balducci. Shoup shooting and scoring! Carter Shoup smells like team spirit. He's got his first career goal in the Penguins Cup playoffs, and the Indians jump on top 1-0.
Well, you get a look here on the forecheck. Beating the defenseman at the last minute, keeps it along the boards, throws it back behind again, and then the centering pass, and there's 3 black jerseys standing around, and nobody picked up Shoup right in the middle of the slot for the shot. He beat Balducci on the glove side, as you mentioned, his first goal to give the Indians a 1-0 lead.
He registered his first playoff point last week against South Fayette. Now his first career Penguins Cup playoffs goal comes here in the semifinals as Peters Township, the second seed, takes a 1-0 lead over third-seeded Thomas Jefferson. His first and only varsity goal, January 20th. Officially, it's Shoup from Holleran. Sorry, Kevin.
No, my fault. That defenseman had position. He just got beat at that last minute and that get that play in motion.
The Thomas Jefferson Jaguars getting rope-a-doped a bit here as I untie my tongue and watch that puck go out of play. Jaguars with that big territorial advantage and shot advantage in this first period, but Peters Township has the only shot that counts so far.
I think it was Lawadi. I think it was a number in the 50s on that forecheck. And he was kind of drafting that defenseman, and he slingshot past him right at the last minute. Protected it, circled the net, tried to throw it at the net, but he threw it behind there. And then Holleran was able to get possession and centering. It's just poor coverage in the slot. Lorenzi was nearby. Nobody saw Shoup in the slot, and he was able to catch it and put that one home.
The freshman with the first goal of this Penguins Cup semifinal round. Salopek to take the face-off against a senior. One of 8 on this year's Peters Township club. Zach Manili. Anthony Herman called into action once more. Herman in his last 5 appearances, a .205 goals against average. So you thought he played well during the season. You're not wrong, but he's playing even better down the stretch. Peters Township weathering a storm in this first period and taking the early lead over their South Hills rivals. Kovac to the corner. Balducci plays it to his right. Artman to Casamassa. Casamassa over the line. 1 against 2, dropping for Artman. Artman missing to the far post. Simon anticipating the rebound. His pass is intercepted by Caruso. And Cam Caruso will reverse the play, or attempt to Kovac. Kovac tied up by Salopek. Indians just want to exit their zone, and finally they will. Chris Claxon wants to change lines as soon as he possibly can, as that puck is played off the glass to the left of Herman. Caruso to the corner. Monco through center. Simon gets there in plenty of time. LaMagna bearing down on him, outletted for Molnar. Molnar to center for Michael. Michael near side for Merrill. Merrill off of Herman. And the rebound is put toward goal and cleared. Schleiper not standing on ceremony. Armin fan on the attempted shot. It's backhanded off one of the Indian skates. Kubastek with good gap control. Lawadi over the line. Newpaver onside as Lawadi shoots, and Balducci saves.
Indians going to get a chance here on the ozone draw. Well, you just mentioned it a few minutes ago, Matt. Like, the Jaguars seem to have had the better of the territorial play, but as the Indians that scored first, just a good forechecking play. See what they get here. Newpaver's going to step in on the dot.
Lawadi, meanwhile, going to the locker room for reasons undetermined before this face-off, which is won by Peters Township. Schleiper toward goal. That goes under Balducci's glove. Kubistek couldn't keep it in. LaMagna frustrated. Peters Township cutting their losses as Merrill is knocked off balance by Schub, the Peters Township goal scorer, and Schub goes near side for Caputo. Caputo toward goal. Balducci the save, and he's got the rebound as he's run into by Schub. And Balducci telling Owen Michael to be the better man.
Get a look in the background there of the trophies that we keep down in the corner during semifinal week. Lenny Santora, the keeper of the cup, does a good job of putting them on display, keeping them all clean.
One of the nicest men you will ever meet, Lenny Santora. A great public advocate for the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League and for youth hockey in general here in Western Pennsylvania, as this is sent out of play by Monco. Lucas Belos, points in 10 straight coming in tonight. That game-winning shootout goal against Peters Township at the end of January. His team down by a goal, and the Indians have this puck now as Schub shoots it off Balducci's glove. Avancic to the rebound, chased by Burns.
1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute.
Jaguars recover in the final minute of first period play. Artman for Lorenzi on for Burns. Burns chasing this puck toward goal. Stabbed aside by Herman. Jaguars keep it in the zone. Lorenzi off his own man, Belos. That's a break for Peters Township. Artman pressured by Holleran. Holleran almost gave himself a breakaway there, but Artman held his ground. Artman from the blue line sends it deep. Monco trying to use the boards to his advantage. Sent right back to the corner by Carter Artman. Caruso up, around, and out. Right to Simon of Thomas Jefferson. Artman to the corner. Caruso outside the blue line. 5 seconds left in the period. More pressure by Kovac. And that is how the first period will end. The Jaguars put Anthony Herman to work, but the Indians have the game's first goal from one of their freshmen, Carter Schub. Peters 1, TJ nothing. He's Kevin Zielmanski. I'm Matt Popchock. It's the Penguins Cup semifinals on TenbandTV, presented by the Mount Washington Shop and Save.
It's a PIHL hockey night in Pittsburgh. It's a great day for PIHL hockey.
Play It Again
Whenever you
Sports
guys
in
are
Greensburg is
ready.
your locally owned and operated sporting goods
good
store.
now, yeah.
We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices. Located in the Greengate East Plaza, below Walmart. Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays.
The Mount Washington Shop and Save is a proud sponsor of the PIHL Penguins Cup and Division II playoffs on TenbandTV. Check out the ad on your screen during any of our broadcasts this week for the latest, greatest deals on everything the Mount Washington Shop and Save has to offer. Whatever you need, store managers Jim and Michelle Kazarowski will make sure you find it at the Mount Washington Shop and Save. Matt Popchock with Kevin Zielmanski for our Class 3A Penguins Cup semifinal nightcap. We had an all North Hills game 1. We have an all South Hills game 2 as Ben Balducci makes his first save of period 2. The side switch has occurred, and Balducci's Jaguars of Thomas Jefferson trail the Peters Township Indians 1-0 despite a good push to begin this game by the lower-seeded Jaguars. Kevin.
Yeah, they've had quite a few chances in the zone, some offensive zone faceoffs, but it was the Indians, when they had one of their better chances, capitalized to get the only goal of the first period.
Freshman Carter Shube, his first ever playoff goal from Brady Holleran. Holleran, one of the goal getters for Peters Township in the quarterfinals last week. Chris Claxton's team completing a line change early in the period as Burns sends it to the vacant left side for Thomas Jefferson. Lorenzi double teamed between the benches. Shube going to work for Peters. Blos digging for that puck for TJ, and it comes free to the Jaguars. Burns near side. Up the wing for Simon. Simon trail checked by Caruso. Not sure if Simon just fanned on the shot or if Caruso interrupted it.
It hopped at the stick.
Shube hits the brakes. Connects with Holleran. Holleran into Balducci, and he stops the rebound. Holleran trying to bat that puck out of midair a la Sidney Crosby, but to no avail. Stretch pass to Holleran. Holleran pressured from behind by Banks. Offside Peters Township. And you're the coach. I'm not. All I'm going to say, though, Kevin, is if I were John Zeiler, I wouldn't tell my team to change too much right now, because if you get 13 shots on goal and you kill off a penalty, you'd be feeling pretty good ordinarily after a first period like that.
Yeah, I think you're talking more about how you're going to beat Herman in goal. He's been pretty active. So maybe you're talking about some more traffic or some more backdoor type plays. Neither team has really got much off the rush here so far. It hasn't exactly been a free-flowing first period, so we'll see what happens here in the second.
And as we talked about, it would surprise neither of us if there weren't much out there for either team over the course of this night. But for the moment, the Indians have the game's only goal, looking to return to the Penguins Cup final for the first time since 2023. Peters Township, like Thomas Jefferson, chasing their third championship of this decade as a penalty is forthcoming on the Indians. Owen Michael was hooked, going to the net.
That's the one that you're kind of okay with, because he was going to have a good chance of scoring right there. Even though it was a little bit in tight, he hooked him. So it's kind of hard to come down too hard on the player right there for that penalty.
Indians were 2 for 3 on the penalty kill in the quarters with a shorthanded goal scored.
See if Newpaper pushes Blos up. Blos wins it cleanly. Good for him to get the possession.
The #1 power play during the regular season, Thomas Jefferson, 38%, and they now go to work on the penny power play. Michael off the skate of Caruso. Simon gets to the rebound, and we've got a stoppage with a net behind Herman off those dreaded moorings.
It's only the first night, Matt. By the time we get to night 4, the crowd gets really annoyed with this. It's going to be a theme.
At least it'll be cold again somewhat on Thursday night, so. Newpaver tries to push it outside the zone, but Simon kept it in. That shot blocked by Monco. Jaguars with an early third period power play, looking to crack the goose egg on which Anthony Herman is sitting. Blos near side for Michael. Michael to Blos. Blos shooting. That's deflected off Caruso's stick and out of play.
What a catch and release by Blos right there. In and out off his stick with the wrister. You know, Blos won that draw on that far dot. Immediately went to his spot at the top of the formation. You don't often see the center win the draw and then sprint. He's going to do it again. He's going to step into the dot. His position is kind of the center point of the blue line. I still would like to see an option when they got it on the wing. Somebody down low. Make the goalie turn, make the defenseman turn, instead of always looking out in front.
Burns for Simon. Simon through a crowd. That's deflected in! Captain's gotta teach stuff! Lorenzi chips it behind Herman. Schleiper takes the walk of shame, and the Jaguars have tied it at 1 with 13:34 till the ice cut.
It's going to be a high tip. You're going to see blows again. He's been doing well on the dot. Get possession for the Jaguars with the win there over to Burns. And they're going to play catch on that far side. Really well done. And then it hits, I think, the defenseman's stick, 27, Monco, and it may also have hit the stick of Lorenzi. And I like to see what I'm seeing to the left here. All the Indians players that came on the ice went back to talk to Herman. They're ready to just put it behind them. But when a goalie's locked in a little bit, Matt, you got to get your stick on puck. And there was a deflection, whether it was the defenseman or Lorenzi.
Balducci at the other end will glove that one down. For now, the goal is being credited to Simon. It looked like Lorenzi may have tipped it. Lorenzi, one way or another, will get a point. For now, it's Simon from Burns and Lorenzi on the penny power play for the Jaguars. And this Penguins Cup Class 3A semifinal is tied at 1 as this puck is won by the Jaguars' Molnar. Molnar slipping it up the wing, and a blocker save made there by Herman in tight after taking that pass from Merrill.
Molnar had that upper corner. You could see it. We were right on his angle.
Holleran 1 against 2. That's fought off by Balducci. Rebound taken by Shub, but he couldn't shoot it cleanly. Kubastek on goal. That save is made by Balducci. And Simon has words for one of the Indians after the whistle. So if it does stay that way, it'll be Simon's first goal of the playoffs and 5th overall this season. He was the Class 3A leader in power play assists during the regular campaign. Kubastek and LaMagna getting involved with Fetzko near side as Casamassa fires just wide of Herman. Casamassa looking for his first career playoff goal.
He could really fire it.
LaMagna trying to get it outside the zone. TJ with the hop now after tying this game at 1. Herman has to settle the puck down. Caruso pivoting in his own zone, turning it over to Lorenzi. Jaguars across the line once again. Lorenzi dispossessed by Cam Caruso. Avancic on the attack for Peters Township. Avancic from a bad angle off the side of the TJ goal. Pritchard settling down that puck. 20 power play goals for Thomas Jefferson as a team this season, the most in Class 3A. Pritchard will play it defensively for the Jags as the Indians go for a line change. Burns to center. Lorenzi pressured as the puck deflects into the benches.
That was a bit comical. The backup goalkeeper, Garrett Rusin, had the puck, and he was looking for one of the officials to throw it to. The official was in the middle of the bench, didn't know where the puck was. They worked it all out.
And now we're back to action in Peters Township ice. Caruso going to work in the corner for the Indians. And he has it for Peters Township. Caruso to center. Skating wide, trailed by Kovac. Caruso hits the brakes, goes to Manili. That shot stopped. The rebound is fought off by Balducci and played off the glove hand of Simon.
Hit one of the Indians on the bench to blow it dead. That one started, Matt, just inside the blue line on the breakout. The third forward high reached, got a little bit too far on his toes. They were able to skate around him and then get into transition. You got to kind of hold that position, stay balanced, and start angling to the boards. Don't allow that cutback and that space on the exit.
On our website, it's pihl-hockey.com.
Indians with a clean face-off win. Maeda's shot deflected out of play. Casamassa minding the gap.
Well, that time it worked out because both the center and the winger for the Jaguars went to that left point on Maeda, and they were able to block it. But if he gets that through with the center at the point with the winger, then they got numbers down low. Center's got to stay with center.
Maeda from the point to Schub. Across for Schleiper. Schleiper through a crowd. That's blocked by Simon in front. Schub to the vacant corner. Artman defensively around the boards. Schleiper trying to keep it in the zone. He does. But ultimately, Blake Avancic comes back to his own blue line. Indians will regroup. Schub trying to feed Holleran. Holleran to the corner, accompanied by Simon. Simon cuts him off and sends it back to center red. Fetzko resetting the play for Thomas Jefferson. Simon beyond the reach of Salopek. No icing. It was touched by Maeda, says one of the linesmen. Avancic to center for Schub. Schub up the right wing for Holleran. Holleran between the circles. Only one there was Jake Simon. Casamassa with under 10 to go in the period for Fetzko. Fetzko shoving Schleiper inside Indians territory. Fetzko across the line, dropping for Blos. Over to Fetzko. Fetzko centering pass broken up, as was the follow-up try. Holleran through center. Flanked by Lawadi. Holleran forces a good save there by Balducci.
Shot back against the grain. Balducci equal to it with the blocker save.
The only goalie in Class 3A with over 1,000 minutes of regular season play. Ben Balducci, he's been the Iron Man back there for Joan Zeiler. New paver toward goal. Balducci doesn't know where it is. It's loose. The Indians are looking for it, and Ben Balducci has it between the pillows. Oh, my.
Balducci and the Snow Angel looking for the puck. The clearing attempt knocked down just inside the red line, and then the quick counter by the Indians. Right there, cutting on the forehand. It's loose after that shot from New Paver. And there's Balducci doing the chest raise, looking for the puck while down.
Monco from the point. Couldn't get it across to Caruso. Burns over the line for the Jaguars. Burns threw it behind him for Lucas Blos. Indians counterattack. New Paver with room. New Paver to the goal. Good stick there by Balducci.
Looked very casual when he poked it, but good play.
A little Marc-Andre Fleury action. He goes from Tommy B to the Flower in one night. Caruso for LaMagna. LaMagna couldn't handle it. Caruso recovers. Good stick by Lorenzi. Lorenzi flying up the right side as Burns going to the net. That shot is blocked. And the rebound is buried by the former Bishop Canavan Crusader, Ryan Ellis. The Jaguars take the lead midway through period 2. Oh, never touch a porcupine. Ellis with his first ever Penguins Cup playoff goal since putting on the TJ uniform.
Well, you see the Jaguars had numbers 3-on-1. It was a great back check and a good D slide, but Matt, the puck just popped out right in the middle of the offensive zone, and Ellis, you got to give the defenseman Ellis credit, Matt, for activating and read the play and beating the second wave of Indians back into the zone. It's a race. When you're 3-on-3 like that, it's a race between those defensemen and those last two forwards that were F1 and F2 into the zone. And Ellis won that race, and he had a sweet wrister in the top corner. 2-1 Jaguars.
In 33 career games at Bishop Canevin, he did not score a varsity goal, had several assists, and had several more with the Jaguars this season as a sophomore. Now he opens his PIHL varsity account at the best possible time. His first career varsity goal, his first career Penguins Cup playoff goal. Sophomore Ryan Ellis getting into the act for TJ with under 8 minutes left in period 2.
Lorenzi picks up a second assist. But that was one of the few times we saw a rush that was threatening either way. That's been a lot of just bouncing the puck around, a little bit of volleyball back and forth here and there. But you got to give credit to Ellis for reading the play and getting up into the play, activating to get that loose puck.
Holleran off the faceoff. That's swallowed by a TJ defenseman. Artman turtling up to block that shot. Michael across for Artman. Artman into the zone. Artman slowed down by Holleran. Avancic towards center. Artman to the corner. Schleiper up the near side for Avancic. Garrett Fetzko takes that loose puck and puts it off of Herman. It's forced toward goal by Simon. Couldn't quite corral it. Lorenzi, by the way, with 3 assists now in these Penguins Cup playoffs after setting up Ellis's first career tally. Jaguars have taken command here in the second period, scoring twice to lead the Peters Township Indians in these Penguins Cup semifinals. Couple of stops there by Herman as Casamassa gave the goaltender a little extra bang for his buck. Peters Township defenders take it personally.
Life into the Jaguars after that second goal. Actually, the 2 goals. It was a 1-0 lead for the Indians entering the second period, the power play goal, and now that go-ahead goal. And you're seeing a little more jump from the Jaguars.
Pritchard trying to get it to blows between the circles. Peters gets the zone exit. Zach Manili to the corner. Kovac sends it behind the Jaguars' cage. Lorenzi plays this airborne puck to center, where Monco sends it the other direction. Kovac chips it off the boards into TJ Ice. Lorenzi taking his time for his Jaguars teammates to get set up. Monco up the right side. Monco across the line. Monco from the corner, and the Penn's Elite product misses the goal. Caruso retrieves that long rebound. Caruso interrupted by Lorenzi. Outletted for Manili this time, and Carter Manili will get it into Thomas Jefferson territory before coming off for a change. Newpaver fighting for this puck. Newpaver somehow kept it onside. Jaguars make it a moot point. Indians completing their change with 5.5 left in this middle period. Caruso with room. Caruso toward goal. Balducci very smoothly grabs that puck.
I was a little concerned in the first. I thought he had trouble catching a couple. But he seems to have settled in and is more comfortable here in this second period. And noticed some of the PT fans pacing around us, Matt. I think they're feeling a little anxious down one.
Two very evenly matched teams, and we've talked about that at great length as Balducci stops that shot from his knees. Kubistek to the corner. Carter Merrill across for fellow defenseman Carter Artman. Simon over the attacking line. Kubistek plays it to the corner. Lawadi in hot pursuit. Can't quite get there to negate the icing call. And
the fans thinking it's an NHL rule where you win the race, and that's not the case. If it goes over the goal line, they're going to blow the whistle. It's not closest to it.
Lawadi coming off quickly now for Shub, who has the Indians' only goal thus far. Peters wins the own zone faceoff. Holleran, accompanied by Avancic. Inside the blue line, it's Artman up to center for Fetzko.
Smart decision. Oh, it got blocked. Thought he was going to get that deep.
Simon across for Salopek. Salopek gains the red line and sends it to the corner. Kubistek around the dasher. Avancic met by Casamassa at his own blue line. Kubistek out to center for Shub. Shub over the line. Out here with Holleran. Holleran looking for the stick of Avancic. That pass didn't connect. Avancic taken off the puck by Simon. TJ gets it through center. Caruso has to hurry to this puck. Casamassa takes it for the Jaguars and sends it wide of the goal mouth. And Herman just kind of tumbled over backwards trying to regain his balance and knock the net off in the process.
Casamassa with momentum on a strong power move to win possession down that right wing. I was a little surprised he fired that wide angle shot that had a small percentage chance of going in, but as you mentioned, Herman kind of lost his spot in the net, lost his balance. And therefore, we're going to have a face-off in the Indians' D zone. Or no, it's going to come out.
John Zeiler putting Belos's line out there with his team up by a goal. Jaguars win the face-off and play it inside the Peters line. Lawadi met at center. Michael Banks, the right person in the right place at the right time, and he forces a face-off inside the Peters Township zone this time. Late in period 2.
I thought Banks was going to lower the hammer on Lawadi right there, but smartly was able to go for the puck instead of the body.
And Lawadi did not appear in the last meeting between these clubs, so he still could be an X factor for Peters Township. A lot of time left in this hockey game. Balducci playing it from his crease up for Lorenzi. Monco off a couple of sticks. Lorenzi attacking for the Jaguars. Lorenzi from the off wing, off the side of the Indians' goal. Caruso controls it for Peters Township. Thought about stretching it out to Lawadi. Too many black shirts in the way to do that. Here comes Lorenzi for TJ. Herman knocks it aside. It's loose. Oh, what a stop by Herman to deny Belos.
That one might have hit him in the mask.
You may be right. Once upon a time, there was a television series called Herman's Head. We might have just seen Herman's Head become a factor in this game for the Indians.
That's reaching deep. That was the result of a backhand pass in the neutral zone. There's the blocker push, and we just can't zoom in enough there to see whether or not that hit the mask. But what I didn't like about how that play started, Matt, is too many weak backhand clearing attempts by the Indians. Put that possession up for grabs in the neutral zone, won by the Jaguars, and that started the whole rush that resulted in Herman, Hasek style, making the save with the head. There's a lot of youngsters in high school going, who? What?
Not me. Those of a certain generation will never forget the Dominator. Manili in the thick of this for Peters Township. Good job by Merrill to win the puck battle for Thomas Jefferson. Out for Michael. Michael trying to play it around Schleiper, who stays right with him in the final 2 minutes before the ice cut here at the RMU Island Sports Center. Merrill going right back to work on the forecheck for Thomas Jefferson. Simon across, kept in by Artman. Michael lines up Maeda in the corner. Manili retaliates. The TJ student section trying to get involved late in the period. Molnar to the point for Artman.
Oh, miscommunication.
Kovac trying to sprint up ahead of the play, and the pass eludes him, icing on the Indians.
The PIHL is correct to announce that the All-Star Games have been rescheduled for March 29th, back here at the RMU Island Sports Center. Herman
joining the Peters Township program, as we mentioned in pregame, from Baldwin, his first couple varsity seasons, and helping the program in a position where they're not particularly deep, at least not numbers-wise, but certainly have had some great players in between the pipes in recent seasons. Herman no exception, as Shub tries to center for Avancek. Played from an angle by Holleran, and Balducci hugging that post, made the save.
Shub, the goal scorer for the Indians right there, putting the pressure on the defender, who kind of fumbled it a little at the offensive blue line. The speed coming down that far side in front of the Indians bench. Succeeded in at least getting the offensive zone here with 77 seconds to go.
Kept inside the line briefly by Monco, but coming the other way is Lorenzi for Thomas Jefferson. Lorenzi trying to connect with Belos. That pass was beyond him. Caruso up the near side. Intended for Lawadi. Balducci well out of his goal to play this puck to Artman. The Indians take it over. Out in front it comes. Caruso couldn't keep it inside the line.
Good pass.
Belos with space. Belos centering for Burns. Burial! Crisscross applesauce for Michael Burns, who has his second goal of the playoffs with 37 ticks to talk. 3 unanswered for the Jaguars to extend their lead.
Puck movement with speed. The touch pass in the neutral zone. Watch the stretch pass off the boards. Right there, laying it up. He takes the hit to make the play, Matt. The defenseman for Peters Township stepped up in the neutral zone, took himself out of the play. He laid it off nicely for Blows, coming through with some speed. Exactly what you want to do with Lucas Blows there. And then the low center of gravity to get around to the defenseman, even though they tried to knock him off. And then the good centering pass and the finish on the left side. Really well done by the Jaguars.
And late period goals can be such a B12 shot, so to speak, for the team that scores them, Kevin, and for the team that gives them up. They can be an absolute killer. So let's see how the Indians get off the mat against a team that leads them by a pair and a team that has been playing exceptionally well on the defensive end the last couple months of the season. Chris Claxon and Peters Township have some things to figure out during the ice cut intermission, mainly how to get a couple more pucks past that guy, number 6.
So the secondary assist goes to Lorenzi, his third. So he was the one that made the play in the neutral zone. It's just a really smart play. I thought it was a touch pass, but he caught it off the boards on a good stretch from the D. So end to end with it, side to side, just really well done by TJ.
And he blocks that shot attempt by Kubastek with 10 seconds left. He's doing it all right now, the Thomas Jefferson captain. And with that, we will cut the ice here on the island.
Just to finish that one thought, Matt, if you're going to step up in the neutral zone as a defenseman, you got to have that forward to cover you, or you're allowing yourself to get an odd man rush against. That's exactly what happened.
Those are the trophies once again. Are the Jaguars going to get to play for one of them next week? We'll see. Thomas Jefferson 3, Peters Township Indians 1. With Kevin Zielmanski, I'm Matt Popchock, and it's the Class 3A Penguins Cup semifinals on 10-Band TV, presented by the Mount Washington Shop and Save.
The pihl once again reminds you that sportsmanship is everyone's responsibility. Please respect the exciting game of hockey.
It's a PIHL hockey night in Pittsburgh. It's a great day for PIHL hockey.
Again, any infraction of this rule may result in your removal.
Hey Yins guys, just a reminder, Yinzer dogs and cooler beer are good food. Whether you're cooking at home or tailgating, grab an original Yinzer dog, go buy some pierogies and lushkis at Giant Eagle. Yinzer dogs and cooler beer, a match made in Pittsburgh.
The official broadcast partner of the pihl is streaming all.
Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices, located in the Greengate East Plaza below Walmart. Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays. Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices, located in the Greengate East Plaza below Walmart. Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings, all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save. Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a grocery store. We're your neighborhood destination. From the freshest local produce to gourmet delights, we've got it all under one roof. Experience convenience, quality, and savings, all in the heart of Mount Washington. Mount Washington Shop and Save, where Pittsburgh shops with a view. Shop smart, shop local, shop Mount Washington Shop and Save.
Creating space. Hewitt turning. Scoring! Marshall Hewitt has won the Penguins Cup championship for the Seneca Valley Raiders with 12:29 to play in triple overtime. And don't ever play Lady of Spain again.
Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices, located in the Greengate East Plaza below Walmart. Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays.
For Thomas Jefferson. Blows around Maeda, blows from an angle, and Herman is tested for the first time tonight. Under their collective belt. Turnover to Carter Manili. Manili against the grain, toward goal. Kovac looking for a deflection. One of the bigger senior classes in the PIHL this season, boasted by the Jaguars. Molnar dispossessed for a moment, but recovers. Herman the save, the rebound is airmailed by Carter Merrill. Not triple teams in the Peters zone. Lawadi trying to get behind Pritchard, he does. Lawadi slips it to Holleran. Holleran just missing.
To the RMU Island Sports Center, the traditional semifinal host.
Herman makes his 10th save of period one. Jaguars with a 10-2 shot advantage now. Ellis couldn't keep it in the zone. Lawadi giving chase, no icing. Banks and Lawadi get tied up. Lawadi wins the puck battle. Lawadi from an angle flips it beyond Balducci. Shoup shooting and scoring! Carter Shoup smells like teams. Outletted for Molnar. Molnar to center for Michael. Michael near side for Merrill. Merrill off of Herman. And the rebound is put toward goal and cleared. Russo interrupted it.
It hopped at the stick.
Shoup hits the brakes. Connects with Holleran. Holleran into Balducci, and he stops the rebound. Is sitting. Blos near side for Michael. Michael to Blos. Blos shooting. That's deflected off Caruso's stick and out of play.
Point on the blue line. I still would like to see an option when they got it on the wing. Somebody down low. Make the goalie turn. Make the defenseman turn instead of always looking out in front.
Burns for Simon. Simon through a crowd. That's deflected in! Captain's gotta teach stuff! Lorenzi chips it behind Herman. Schleiper takes the walk of shame, and the Jaguars won as this puck is won by the Jaguars' Molnar. Molnar slipping it up the wing, and a blocker save made there by Herman in tight after taking that pass from Merrill by Balducci. Rebound taken by Shoup, but he couldn't shoot it cleanly. Kubastek on goal. That save is made by Balducci. And Simon has words for one of the Indians after the whistle. Kubastek and LaMagna getting involved with Fetzko near side as Casamassa fires just wide of Herman. Try. Holleran through center. Flanked by Lawadi. Holleran forces a good save there by Balducci. Regular season play. Ben Balducci, he's been the Iron Man back there for Jones Island. New paver toward goal. Balducci doesn't know where it is. It's loose. The Indians are looking for it, and Ben Balducci has it between the pillows. Lorenzi flying up the right side as Burns going to the net. That shot is blocked. And the rebound is buried by the former Bishop Canavan Crusader, Ryan Ellis. The Jaguars take the lead midway through period two. Oh, never. Garrett Fetzko takes that loose puck and puts it off of Herman. It's forced toward goal by Simon. Couldn't quite corral it. Too many black shirts in the way to do that. Here comes Lorenzi for TJ. Herman knocks it aside. It's loose. Oh, what a stop by Herman to deny Blos.
Good pass.
Blos with space. Blos centering for Burns. Burial. Crisscross applesauce for...
Play It Again Sports in Greensburg is your locally owned and operated sporting goods store. We set ourselves apart by offering a wide variety of both new and used equipment at competitive prices. Located in the Greengate East Plaza, below Walmart. Play It Again Sports' knowledgeable staff will help you and your family prepare for every athletic season. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we are here as your one-stop shop. At Play It Again Sports in Greensburg, everybody plays.
What was that?
From horses to hunting, Carhartt to Carolina, 2 wheels, or 4? From Timberland Pro to playing in the snow, what do all these people have in common? They shop at Locust Grove Country Shop in Apollo. Call 724-478-1846 or online at locustgrovepa.com.
Cunningham. Here comes Cunningham between the defenders. Cunningham. Score! Ethan Cunningham! Hat trick! Game-winning goal! The Ramblers win the 2025 2A Penguins Cup! And Ethan Cunningham is a local hero! It's a PIHL hockey night in Pittsburgh. It's a great day for PIHL hockey.
And with 2 periods in the books here at the RMU Island Sports Center in Neville Township, the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars lead the Peters Township Indians 3-1 in the Class 3A Penguins Cup semifinals. He's Kevin Zielmanski. I'm Matt Popchock, joining you for the nightcap here on TenbandTV, presented by the Mount Washington Shop and Save. And we want to welcome another sponsor, a new playoff sponsor, Peters Barbershop on 608 East McMurray Road, and thank them for supporting our coverage all week long. Scan the QR code on your screen to make an appointment. And by the way, if you want to see your ad during the remainder of the Penguins Cup and Division II playoffs, email todd@tenband.tv. We've got more to tell you about, but first, Kevin, you're going to break down how TJ has taken command here of their first ever appearance in the 3A Penguins Cup semifinals.
Yeah, in particular, I want to go over some things on that last one, but we're going to get this first goal here for Peters Township. You see right here, the defenseman's in position, and he slingshots around them. He protects the puck, and he tries to shoot it. It gets deflected behind, but look at Shub in front. Nobody's around him. He finishes first goal of the game. Peters Township 1-0. That's the only goal they'd score in the first 2 periods, and we're going to get a look at 3 consecutive goals for the Jaguars here. 2 of them in the second period, or 3 of them in the second period, excuse me. So this first one, they're going to play catch after winning the draw. Right there, and it's going to be deflected by the defenseman. The shaft of his stick, 27. That's a tough one for Herman. Tied at 1. Right here, you're going to see that loose puck is just flung into the net after the rush, beating those back checkers down the ice. And Matt, this is what I want you to watch. Watch this pass come from the defenseman, and as the puck goes up the ice, watch the 3 white jerseys that are trapped. 1, 2, 3, right there. And now Blows goes past them, the defenseman comes up, and now they got numbers. And they were just too slow coming back, as nobody could see me point except you. But the back checkers, Blows blew past them in the neutral zone, and then they were too slow coming up. When Coach Claxton and his staff sees that, they're really going to be mad about that one. It was just more effort from TJ. He gets the 3rd goal, gives them a 2-goal lead.
And I give the Jaguars a lot of credit. As
Absolutely.
I said, after that first period, they just kept chopping wood, even though that first 17 minutes didn't go the way it looked like it would when they had the early shot advantage. They stuck to their game, and eventually they were able to find a couple of cracks in the dam behind Anthony Herman, and they've gotten a few goals against one of the top defensive teams in PIHL Class 3A, if not the entire league, during the 25-26 season. And thank you for breaking it down, Kevin. Thank you, by the way, also to 31 Sports Bar and Grill in Bridgeville for streaming our Penguins Cup semifinal coverage and Division II semifinal coverage throughout this week over there in Bridgeville. And we will be back at 31 this Sunday, March 15th, for a special Penguins Cup and Division II Finals preview show live on TenbandTV. The Indians, before Rick Tingle called it a career, went back-to-back in the Penguins Cup Championship Series. The Thomas Jefferson Jaguars are going for their third in a 5-year span, and it's the Jags who have the upper hand entering the final period of play.
Well, my days on the bench, man, I could give you a list of things that drove me crazy as pet peeves, and one of them is not getting back on the back check. That could be near or at the top of the list. The other one is just blindly throwing it into the slot when you're not going to connect with a teammate, starting a team's breakout. My players, any of them that might have a chance to chat with you would tell that one. And TJ made Peters pay for being slow coming on the back check. Credit Blows for using his speed and his strength on his skates to create that opportunity, and a good finish by Burns. And I think you're right, you use the expression chopping wood. TJ worked hard and earned those 3 goals.
Absolutely. And now Peters Township has to take off the proverbial white collars of those white home uniforms and put on some blue ones to try and get back into this Penguins Cup semifinal game. Their 16th Penguins Cup semifinal berth in a 17-year span under 2 different head coaches. That one is gloved spring training style by Ben Balducci.
Shagging, just a casual Dane Bradenton, shagging a few flies.
It'll be here before you know it.
Some buzz on the Buccos this year.
Feels like it. Artman around the boards for Burns, the most recent Thomas Jefferson goal scorer, as Kevin detailed. Artman across the line, met by the stick of Caruso. Up it comes now to LaMagna. LaMagna turns the defender inside out and just misses to the near post. LaMagna to his own rebound. LaMagna to Newpaver in the circle. He puts it off the mask of Ben Balducci. Oh, now both goalies have worn one tonight.
Took one off the melon. That one picked up by Jeff Morrow, the longtime super fan. He in the front row. I saw him in the lobby.
Newpaver stays on with that line to take this face off against Merrill.
Right shot. He's got the motorcycle grip. He's going to try to pull it back here to the right defenseman. Well, it looks like he might try to lean into it here.
Newpaver battling, but it comes free to Simon for the Jaguars, who plays it through center. Maeda gets it as far as Carter Merrill. Owen Michael on his horse, trying to get there before Maeda could. Jaguars have it in the Peters Township zone. Artman around the perimeter. Good hustle by Michael, and that bounces in on Herman, and that puck is put off the side of the net by Molnar. Good forecheck by the Jaguars to respond early in period 3, holding on to that 2-goal lead. Lawadi met by 3 Jaguars, and outnumbered. TJ is able to play it beyond the reach of Lawadi back to center. Shub from his own blue line with the Jaguars in the middle of a change.
Waved off that icing there.
Holleran unable to control that puck. Stolen by Monco off a TJ stick and right in on Balducci, who covers it immediately.
Well, at the intermission, while you took a break, I was sitting here, and Herman's mother came and was looking over my right shoulder at the replay. She wanted to know how the goals went in. So I was chatting with her for just a few minutes as she was able to catch all the goals against.
.912 save percentage for Herman during the regular season. 3rd best among Class AAA tendies. Certainly worthy of that all-star nod. And I always got a feeling in those earlier years with Baldwin, if he had a little bit better team in front of him, he could be a PIHL all-star. He was certainly kept busy with the Highlanders in the 2 seasons he played there. Blos It comes center now between the circles for Lorenzi. He couldn't take that pass. Monco across two lines off the stick of Shub. Ryan Ellis, first ever varsity goal, first ever Penguins Cup playoff goal, and it's at the moment the go-ahead goal for the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. 4 assists in 18 regular season games for the sophomore Ellis. And as Kevin showed us earlier, a thing of beauty to put his team ahead.
Yeah, it was a sweet shot in the top corner.
Indians try to get the cycle going. That shot's blocked in front by, guess who?
Look out.
And played up into the stands.
Oh,
and it deflects
ricochet
into the seating area directly in front of Media Row. A violent ricochet at that off the myriad Robert Morris Colonial logos off to our left.
That had a little heat on it, and it just missed one of our cameras, thankfully. That's not in the budget.
Our first close call of semifinals week here on the island, hopefully the last, as Zach Manili settles in for the faceoff against Casamassa. Salopek was chased by the linesman.
Yeah, you and I were at Ice Castle on the 12th of February, and I had a screamer coming right for me that night.
Little too close for comfort. Salopek ahead for Casamassa. He fires over top the goal. And Herman will cover that puck out to his right. Tomorrow night in Class 2A, regular season champion Hempfield taking on AA newcomers Bethel Park. And upstart Greater Latrobe, the 7 seed, coming off their upset of Armstrong, taking on the number 3 seed Penn Trafford in the Class 2A Penguins Cup semifinals tomorrow night on TenbandTV.
It's been a few years since we've seen the Blackhawks in an important game in the playoffs.
We've talked at great length about how seeing them in 2A feels like the Twilight Zone a little bit for people like you and I who have been around the PIHL a while, but moving down has really helped that program rebuild in a big way. And nice job by the Blackhawks this year to earn the number 4 seed in the 2A tournament. And they won a dramatic first-round game in OT at the Spencer Y against Bishop McCourt, one of the higher scoring teams during the regular season. We certainly saw the Blackhawks and the Peters Township Indians have some interesting playoff confrontations over the years. Perhaps again someday. In the meantime, the Indians have their hands full with the Class 3A newcomers, the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars, who in their second year as part of the top flight are trying to go to their first ever 3A Penguins Cup final. They're 12 minutes away. Caruso toward goal. Balducci protecting the post. Out in front, but right to Carter Merrill. Luwadi chased by Molnar. Luwadi off of Artman. Holleran stayed with that puck and fired wide. Kubastek to the rebound. Luwadi behind the TJ goal, excuse me. Maeda with a floater that'll miss. Kubastek, the rebound, put it off the body of Banks. Shub pinching at the right point.
And a good cover by the high forward.
Holleran double teamed.
Credit
Gets it to
Kubastek.
Shub.
Sorry, Matt. Credit Kubastek. I didn't get the name right.
Icing on TJ. A good cycle there by Peters Township, but still nothing to show for it. Down by a deuce.
6:15 p.m. The winner of this game advancing to the Penguins Cup final. You have everything you need to know about the 2026 Penguins
It's going to be a St. Patrick's Day face-off for the 3A Penguin Cup Championship on a day that I think is forecasted to be really cold and might have some snow after all this nice weather this week. Go figure.
Hockey weather. Fitting in some way for the final game of the season in the West.
It's also like typical St. Patrick's Day parade weather.
Touche. Lorenzi to center. The Pennsylvania Cup champion Seneca Valley Raiders seeking back-to-back Penguins Cups, and they will play one of these two teams at 6:15 next Tuesday night at the UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex in Cranberry Township. Raiders winning a nail-biter over their Route 19 rivals, the Pine Richland Rams. There's still time for Peters Township to make a dent in the outcome of this one, but need to get some more pucks on Balducci and need some more O-zone time. They've got a face-off to the seniors' right. Lawadi tied up in the circle. That allows Artman to play it around the boards, but not quite out. Caruso wide of goal. Rebound to Lawadi. Lawadi protecting it. Trying to split the D. Gets it out in front. Holleran couldn't get a clean stick on it. Blos took charge. Lucas Blos, look at the wheels on him. Blos to the goal. Oh, what a stop by Herman. Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman. 10 minutes left to the Indians. We're nearly dealt a knockout punch.
Oh, Matt, you can see it coming. Blos squirted out of that scrum in the slot and then just hit the accelerator down the far side, cut in on the forehand. Credit that defenseman for never turning and facing his goalie and trying to gain some speed. He tried to keep a gap as tight as possible, and then Herman with a good push off to the side and a glove save that was equal to the task. Really good on both ends.
Oh, that would have brought at least one half of the house down here at the Clearview Arena, but Herman just barely doing enough to close that 5-hole on Belos's partial breakaway. Casamassa from an angle. That's knocked aside by Herman. Fetzko to the rebound. Caruso trying to shield him from the puck behind the net. Jaguars win the battle. And they've been outworking Peters Township for the Bears' share of this game. Again, you got to give TJ credit. Salopek to the corner. Maeda turning it over to Fetzko. Casamassa plays it inside the Indian zone for Schleiper. Two-line pass to Hardoby. Simon exchanging with Molnar. Peters can't buy the icing call as we approach the midpoint of period 3. Simon interrupts that outlet pass, but Newpaver brings it over the line. Sent back past center red by Banks, and it's icing on the Jaguars.
Well, here's the chance in the O-zone now. We ticked under 9 minutes, Matt, for the Indians to set up something. Got to win the draw. Newpaver's been in the dot, in the circle quite a bit. Good job by TJ to get possession.
And Banks sends it up the left side for Molnar.
Smart dump.
Monco from behind his own goal. LaMagna tied up at his own line by Merrill. LaMagna enters the zone for Peters Township, but Newpaver, frustrated with himself, was offside.
Well, somebody in white needs to make a play for the Indians to crawl back into this game, as it's just methodically ticking down on them with 8:18 to go here in the third period, and they need a spark.
Holleran to Monco. Around the boards it comes, and now up for Caruso.
Holleran let that puck go for the defenseman who had vacated the zone, and so it went out.
Schub at center for Avancic. Monco winding his way across the line for Peters Township. Monco going behind the net to the vacant corner. Schub gets there for the Indians. Holleran for Avancic. Halloran wins possession. Halloran off the stick of Balducci. Caruso slaps the rebound toward goal. It's blocked in front by Bloss and Simon in tandem. Simon clearing the zone.
Close to too many men on the ice.
Alex Surlees, the assistant coach, was clamoring for a too many men call, but none forthcoming as Balducci makes that save. Good effort by Caruso, better save by Ben Balducci. 7 minutes left in regulation. Indians need 2 to extend this Penguins Cup semifinal. Caruso from his own zone, across for Kubastek. Manili across the line. Zach Manili forcing the save by Balducci. Jaguars with a quick clear. Kubastek with a quick dump in. Zach Manili going after it. Knocked aside by Balducci.
Very casually. He just looks very much in control back there.
TJ trying to keep their poise late in a 2-goal game and advance to their historic first ever Class 3A Penguins Cup final. They've been Class 2A Penguins Cup champions twice in this decade. Salopek.
2 more strides.
Yielding possession to the Indians. Schleiper on the attack for Peters. That's off the side of the net, and Schleiper thinks it went in. Did it? Yes, it did! Schleiper! No Schleiping! How did that get past Ben Balducci? The Indians fans are on their feet. Balducci cannot believe the play that Schleiper just made. The junior defenseman to sneak it inside the near post. He was the only one who knew it was in, and it's a 3-2 game.
Well, Matt, this mistake started in the neutral zone when Salopek didn't get to the line and dump it in. Here comes the counter. Balducci, he's got his blocker and his skate there. He's convinced they went through the net. He's down there inspecting the net. He's pointing out some holes, but I don't know what recourse he has. There's no replay. It was called a goal, and they're going to drop the puck.
Balducci is motioning toward the referee as if he still wants to talk it over.
The referee's not going to go down there.
Balducci is arguing that there's a literal hole in the Thomas Jefferson net. The TenbandTV crew finding something that maybe this USA Hockey crew has not, and that's what Balducci was complaining about. Worked out in front. Newpaver with it.
That's a tough one.
And I believe that should be Schleiper's goal. Eric Schleiper, as Balducci covers that puck in the crease.
He's going to hold the puck until the official comes to talk to him. Watch this one. He's not going to give it back. See? You see, he's going to lobby his case. He was not going to give it up. You could see that coming. There wasn't a lot of room to get beat when they took that shot, man. I don't know. He might have a point.
My binoculars are not within reach, so I cannot tell if Ben Balducci has a legitimate beef or not, but he certainly feels he does.
I didn't think of that. I have mine.
The goal was announced for Newpaver, which would be his first of the playoffs, but I believe as we get another stoppage here.
What?
Go ahead, Kevin.
Todd came over and said he played it. Run it again, Todd.
Officials tending to the Thomas Jefferson goal as we'll get a look at it one more time.
It was misplayed in the neutral zone. It was a bad decision to not get to the red line. Here we come again. He's got his pad and his blocker. And I think it goes on the other side of that post.
Again, the goal incorrectly announced for New Paver. It'll eventually be corrected to be Eric Schleiper's goal, the junior defenseman with his first ever Penguins Cup playoff goal on a night of firsts for both these teams. Now forget Herman's head, now it's Stranger Things here on 10-Band TV. Monco off the logo. Bottom line is it's a one-goal Penguins Cup semifinal game with still 4.5 minutes remaining. Schleiper's first varsity goal came on January 20th. And now he's got another. Shub up for Lawadi. Lawadi inside the circle. That's blocked. Monco. Holleran trying to catch the deflection. Monco's slap shot is blocked by Molnar. Holleran for Lawadi. Lawadi's shot blocked by Belos. Jaguars just packing it in, trying to help their goaltender any way they can. Holleran poke checked.
3-on-1.
Good play there by Hartman. Numbers for TJ. Belos leading the charge. He misses to the near post. Lawadi chased down by Molnar.
Good back check.
Great back check as Molnar is shoved to the ice by Lawadi in frustration. Holleran looking for a stick in front. That was Shub's. Shub in front. Nobody home.
Where'd that horn come from?
Schleiper, scorer of the controversial goal moments ago by Peters Township. Shub to the corner. A yard sale in Thomas Jefferson territory. A loose and or broken stick on the ice behind the goal line as the Jaguars finally get a clear. Schleiper off the crease to Pritchard. Kubastek to Manili, just beyond that official's crease.
Good stick by
Carter
Manili.
Manili controls, fires and scores! Hold the plane for Minkus! Manili has tied the game at 3! And they're going bonkers here on the island!
Matt, this one should be unassisted. McNeely with a good stick on the neutral zone forecheck, knocked it down, and he shot it right inside that post that was in question. Right there's a great stick by McNeely, and he shoots back against Balducci, who was clearly a bit rattled after that second goal went in. The team was a bit rattled, and I'm not sure if you could come back from this one now, Matt, if you go into overtime.
31 third period goals by Peters Township entering the semifinal round. Second most in the classification. Make that 33. The Jaguars as a team with 28 third period goals, right behind the Indians. Two strong third period teams over the long season, but it's the Indians who have roared to life for a pair here late in regulation to tie this Penguins Cup semifinal with 3. A disputed goal scored by defenseman Eric Schleiper. Then moments ago, Carter Manili, the sophomore forward, with his 4th of the year and 1st of the postseason.
They gave out a generous assist. That one should have been unassisted.
Lorenzi, pressured by LaMagna, trying to drop it for Burns. Burns creating space off the glove of Herman. Lawadi trying to play it off the deflection, but it goes out of action.
Man, you and I don't have a good track record with overtime.
Bite your tongue until it bleeds, sir. 75 ticks to talk in this one. Shub for Avancic. Avancic splits the D. Avancic to the goal. Oh, Balducci somehow stopped it. It's still loose, but the whistle has blown. The save of the night by Ben Balducci.
He knocked the net off while doing a snow angel. And he's still talking to the official about that second goal. And the official buckles, walks away, skates away.
And Blake Avancic is talking to himself. He can't believe the save that Balducci just made to keep this game tied.
I can't believe he split the D. That can't happen if you're the defense pair. You can't allow that forward to split the D there.
Merrill brings it to center for the Jaguars. Schleiper, too strong for Avancic. Icing on the Indians.
Take the timeout. Take the timeout, set it up. Not gonna do it.
Chris Claxton trying to settle down his team on the Peters Township bench. The Indians with a dramatic and on some level bizarre rally late in this third period to tie this semifinal game. Simon met at his own blue line. Lawati trying to get up ahead of the play, but Simon had him too well marked. Awkward zone entry for the Indians there, and the Jaguars force it to center with half a minute left. Caruso for Lawati. Shayla Magna for Newpaver. Newpaver toward goal. Good stick by Simon. Newpaver to the point. Kubastek across for Caruso. 15 to go. To the corner for Lawati. Newpaver. 5 seconds to go. He's got to hurry. Lawati from an angle off the side of the net. Lawati again. That will miss. And 51 minutes were not enough. We'll have an ice cut, and we will proceed with sudden victory overtime when we return. Peters Township Indians 3, Thomas Jefferson Jaguars 3 in the Class 3A Penguins Cup semifinal. Matt Popchock and Kevin Zielmanski with you to bring it to you on TenbandTV, presented by the Mount Washington Shop and Save.
It's a PIHL hockey night in Pittsburgh. It's a great day for PIHL hockey.
Why are so many companies, unions, and organizations across the country choosing the Avia Dental Plan?
Because group plans start at as little as $5 per month, and groups can save 20 to 80% off of high-quality dental care.
Everyone qualifies, and there's no waiting or limits on visits to the dentist.
Call now and save $20, plus get 3 months free.
Call now and you may be able to save $20 and get 3 months free. 1-888-431-CARE or visit aviadental.com.
From horses to hunting, Carhartt to Carolina, 2 wheels or 4. From Timberland Pro to playing in the snow. What do all these people have in common? They shop at Locust Grove Country Shop in Apollo. Call 724-478-1846 or online at locustgrovepa.com.
Okay, I lied. There will not be an ice cut intermission. If anything, we hope it doesn't come to that, as we are now set to begin the first period of sudden victory overtime. But of this much we are certain in Penguins Cup playoff protocol, it is a full period of sudden victory overtime.
You didn't lie as much as you just didn't remember it, correctly. That's all. That's a big difference. No worries. You didn't lie, man, as much as you just didn't remember it correctly. So we're going to play 5-on-5. We're going to switch sides, so we're going to have the long change. And next goal wins.
We know the important thing.
We also know there's going to be a celebration at one end of the ice. The proverbial thrill of victory, the agony of defeat.
The Seneca Valley Raiders, I'm sure, have their popcorn ready. We hope you do too. Overtime is underway in the Class 3A Penguins Cup semifinals. Caruso to Monco. Near side, Caruso firing on Balducci, who snatches that with his left hand.
And the way he flicked that puck out, man, he's still not pleased with that second goal being awarded. He's got to get past it now. Can't rewind it.
2 goals in a span of not quite 3.5 minutes for the Indians in that third period. Schleiper and Manili, the scorers for the team in white. Peters Township with it. Shub for Holleran. Holleran off Balducci, and the rebound cleared quickly by Simon, but right to Monco, who fires it upstairs, and that just missed. Caruso toward goal. Oh, what a save there by Balducci. Reading the deflection. Blows with speed through center. Lucas Blows flying up that right wing, dispossessed by Monco. Holleran with space up the left side, trying to get around Simon. Lorenzi through center for TJ. Lorenzi over the line. Herman juggles that one and holds on.
Well, Holleran with a terrific tip, just about 4 or 5 feet out, with a good save by Balducci. You see him standing right there.
Newpaver waved out of the faceoff by the linesman. Lawadi in his stead will take it against Merrill. Merrill ties up Lawadi at the dot. That's shot wide by Owen Michael. Ellis, who had the go-ahead goal in regulation for the Jaguars, flags that puck down at the right point. Newpaver exits the zone, trying to hit LaMagna. Ellis had that lane sealed off as it's played deep by the Peters Township Indians. Molnar with it for the Jaguars. 1 against 2 with Maeda and Schleiper.
Well played by Maeda.
Schleiper getting whacked at by Michael. Chance for Molnar from the left circle. Molnar trying to put it out in front. Maeda read it like a cheap novel. Lawadi between the circles. He fires on Balducci, who was square to that puck the whole time.
Well, it was a turnover, and it was a quick counter 2-on-1 for the Jaguars. Maeda with 2 good defensive plays, and then the transition for Peters Township. And look at the drive there by number 9, Che Lamana, with the drive between the D, opening up the space for the shooter behind him, and Balducci out on the paint making the save.
Holleran's line out there for this offensive zone faceoff. Indians play it around the perimeter. Lorenzi, the TJ captain, couldn't get it past Monco. Monco toward goal, kicked out of there by Balducci. Holleran with a good deflection, but a better save by Balducci. Caruso to Avancic. Avancic plays it to himself. Shub tied up by Lorenzi. Shub going to work. It comes free to Burns now for TJ. Artman to his defensive partner Lorenzi. Indians trying to complete a change as Artman plays this puck up the left wing. Artman above the circle. That's blocked by Caruso. Giving chase LaMagna. Blos with a desperate move to keep it in the zone, but it doesn't stay there for long. Holleran up the left side. Balducci the save. Holleran gets his own rebound. LaMagna to the corner. LaMagna behind the line. It's off the side of the net. Holleran on his backhand for Lawadi. Lawadi trying to get away from Blos, but Blos takes this puck for TJ. Jaguars have numbers. Blos trying to go across for Burns. Good read by Lawadi. Lawadi in transition for the Indians. Lawadi trying to lead it for Newpaver. LaMagna toward goal. That's blocked.
2-on-2.
Blos accompanied by Lorenzi. Blos upstairs wide of Herman.
That's too many men on the Jaguars. He came off the bench.
Newpaver ahead for LaMagna. LaMagna taken off the puck by Merrill.
We got a penalty upcoming. Culpaver got a penalty.
Newpaver.
Oh, I called him Culpaver. Cole Newpaver, sorry.
Is going to feel shame for 2 minutes and then get free.
He goes right into the keeper without any awareness of where he was. That's a good call. That's a correct call. He went right into him.
And the number one power play in Class 3A, which has scored once already, goes to work. John Zeiler using his timeout. We'll step aside quickly with this semifinal game tied at 3 between the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars and Peters Township Indians on TenbandTV, presented by Mount Washington Shop and Save.
It's a PIHL Hockey Night in Pittsburgh. It's a great day for PIHL
I mean,
hockey.
I'm sure in his mind he was just trying to camp out in front of the net, but like you said, be aware of where you are on the ice. My goodness.
Hey Yins guys, just a reminder, Yinzer dogs and Kohler beer are good food. Whether you're cooking at home or tailgating, grab an original Yinzer dog, kielbasa, pierogies, and lushkis at Giant Eagle. Yinzer dogs and Kohler beer, a match made in Pittsburgh.
Discover the heart of Pittsburgh at Mount Washington Shop and Save. At Mount Washington Shop and Save, we're more than just a
Jaguars to an overtime power play 4 minutes into sudden victory hockey. They win the faceoff. Michael up top to Blos. Blos firing. Saved by Herman. Michael has the rebound. Newpaver in the box for interference. Blos center point. Near side Michael. Michael on goal. Herman has it, and there is no rebound.
Once again, Blos wins the draw. Hustles to the center point position, top of the umbrella. And quickly with that snapshot wrister he has, Herman with the blocker save to knock that one to the side.
Holleran out there on the penalty kill for the Indians. He loses the draw to Blos again. Michael up top to the alternate captain. Now Owen Michael with it. Down low for Burns. Burns out in front. Herman was ready. The net dislodged. Officials don't notice, but it doesn't matter for the moment because the Indians cleared the zone.
They took it low below the goal line and made the defense adjust, and the goalie track it.
Blos ducks around the check by Monco. Lucas Blos flying around on this penny power play for the Jaguars. Blos right side. Simon across for Michael. Michael, that's blocked by Caruso. Burns midway through the man advantage to Blos. Burns left circle. Burns shooting, that's blocked. Indians still can't get the clear. Blos to Michael. Across for Simon. Burns taking off that puck. And Meneely, who tied this game in regulation, gets it the length of the ice. Carter Meneely has to hustle back now as Michael drops his puck for Burns. Half a minute left in Thomas Jefferson's power play. Caruso gets a handle on it and clears it for the Indians. LaMagna for Kovac. Kovac just trying to get the puck deep on the penalty kill here with time ticking down on the penalty to Newpaver. I beg your pardon. Simon hits the brakes for Belos. For Michael. Michael. That shot missing by Simon. Newpaver is a free man, and he's got this puck for the Indians. Kovac going to the goal. Newpaver shoots off the mask. Newpaver scores! Cole Newpaver pulls a Lloyd Christmas and totally redeems himself in overtime. Chris Claxon and the Peters Township Indians have a date with destiny and with the defending champs on St. Patrick's Day. In 54 years of Peters Township hockey, one of the great comebacks in the program's postseason history. Down 3-1 in the final 6+ minutes. They rally to tie it and to win on Cole Newpaver's overtime goal. Indians 4, Thomas Jefferson Jaguars 3. It'll be Seneca and Peters, the teams that ended the preseason for all the marbles in the postseason, Kevin.
Man, I mentioned he didn't have the awareness to commit the penalty. This time he had the awareness to keep his stick on the ice, to slam home the rebound after the initial save by Balducci, and this is a tough one for the Jaguars to swallow with a 3-1 lead midway through the third, and a second goal that their goaltender is convinced did not beat him. And when you give a team like Peters just that crack of daylight, that opportunity.
And there was an incident in the handshake line as Balducci is being escorted off the ice now. Ben Balducci went after a couple of the Peters Township players in the handshake line, and that is not a good look for the senior.
Your final score, Peters Township 4, Thomas Jefferson.
Kevin, I apologize, but we had an unusual situation playing out there.
Yeah, I wasn't looking. Unfortunate, I didn't see what happened.
The other goaltender, Anthony Herman, acknowledging the Peters Township fans who are, most of them on their feet here in front of us at the Island Sports Center. What a night in the home of RMU hockey.
Well, a terrific comeback by the Indians. Whether or not the second one went in, they still made a good play to get the third, and then the overtime game-winning goal to advance to the Penguin Cup Finals.
Thank you, Kevin Zielmanski. Thank you, Dustin Beck. Thank you, Ethan Stewart, Todd and Kennedy Kazarowski, Michael Lyman in the Four Seasons, Austin McLean on public address, and thank you for watching and listening. Let's do it again tomorrow night. The Class 2A Penguins Cup semifinals are next tomorrow, Tuesday, March 10th on TenbandTV. But for now, I'm Matt Popchock, and that's all she wrote from the Clearview Arena, where the Peters Township Indians have rallied in overtime on Cole Newpaver's goal to defeat the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars 4-3. Seneca Valley versus Peters Township for the Class 3A Penguins Cup Championship next week. You've been watching it all on PIHL Hockey Night Live on TenbandTV, presented by the Mount Washington Shop and Save. Great job.
It's a PIHL Hockey Night in Pittsburgh. It's a great day for PIHL hockey.
For Thomas Jefferson. Belos around Maeda. Belos from an angle, and Herman is tested for the first time tonight. Under their collective belt. Turnover to Carter Manili. Manili against the grain. Toward goal, Kovac looking for a deflection. One of the bigger senior classes in the PIHL this season, boasted by the Jaguars. Molnar dispossessed for a moment, but recovers from it. The save, the rebound is airmailed by Carter Merrill. Not triple teams in the Peters zone.
Yeah,
Lawadi trying to get behind Pritchard. He does. Lawadi slips it to Holleran. Holleran just missing.
It's RNU Island Sports Center, the traditional semifinal host.
Herman makes his 10th save of period one. Jaguars with a 10-2 shot advantage now.
Now I gotta see this.
Ellis couldn't keep it in the zone. Lawadi giving chase, no icing. Banks and Lawadi get tied up. Lawadi wins the puck battle. Lawadi from an angle flips it beyond Balducci. Shooting and scoring! Carter Shoob smells like teams. Outletted for Molnar. Molnar to center for Michael. Michael near side for Merrill. Merrill off of Herman. And the rebound is put toward goal and cleared. Russo interrupted.
It hopped at the stick.
Shoob hits the brakes. Connects with Holleran. Holleran into Balducci, and he stops the rebound. Is sitting. Blos near side for Michael. Michael to Blos. Blos shooting. That's deflected off Caruso's stick and out of play.
Point of the blue line. I still would like to see an option when they got it on the wing. Somebody down low. Make the goalie turn. Make the defenseman turn instead of always looking out in front.
Burns for Simon. Simon through a crowd. That's deflected in! Captain's gotta teach stuff! Lorenzi chips it behind Herman. Schleiper takes the walk of shame, and the Jaguars won as this puck is won by the Jaguars' Molnar. Molnar slipping it up the wing, and a blocker save made there by Herman in tight after taking that pass from Merrill by Balducci. Rebound taken by Shoob, but he couldn't shoot it cleanly. Kubastek on goal. That save is made by Balducci. And Simon has words for one of the Indians after the whistle.
Score on the power play in overtime. Champions overcome.
Kubastek and LaMagna getting involved with Fetzko near side as Casamassa fires just wide of Herman. Try. Holleran through center. Flanked by Lawadi. Holleran forces a good save there by Balducci. Regular season play. Ben Balducci, he's been the Iron Man back there for Joan Zeiler. New paver toward goal. Balducci doesn't know where it is. It's loose. The Indians are looking for it, and Ben Balducci has it between the pillows. Lorenzi flying up the right side as Burns going to the net. That shot is blocked. And the rebound is buried by the former Bishop Canavan Crusader, Ryan Ellis. The Jaguars take the lead midway through period two. Oh, never. Garrett Fetzko takes that loose puck and puts it off of Herman. It's forced toward goal by Simon. Couldn't quite corral it. Too many black shirts in the way to do that. Here comes Lorenzi for TJ. Herman knocks it aside. It's loose. Oh, what a stop by Herman to deny Blos.
Good pass.
Blos with space. Blos centering for Burns. Burial. Crisscross applesauce. Cup semifinal berth in a 17-year span under two different head coaches. That one is gloved spring training style by Ben Balducci to Newpaver in the circle. He puts it off the mask of Ben Balducci. Oh, now both goalies have worn one tonight.
Took one.
Hartman around the perimeter. Good hustle by Michael, and that bounces in on Herman, and that puck is put off the side of the net by Molnar. Holleran unable to control that puck. Stolen by Monco off a TJ stick and right in on Balducci, who covers it immediately. Shots blocked in front by guess who?
Look out.
And played up into the stands, and it deflects into the seating area directly in front of Media Row. A violent ricochet at that. Ahead for Casamassa. He fires over top the goal. And Herman will cover that puck out to his right. Stick on it. Blos took charge. Lucas Blos, look at the wheels on him. Blos to the goal. Oh, what a stop by Herman. Paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman. Holleran wins possession. Holleran off the stick of Balducci. Caruso slaps the rebound toward goal. It's blocked in front by Blos and Simon in tandem. Alex Surlees, the assistant coach, was clamoring for a too-many-men call, but none forthcoming as Balducci makes that save. Manili across the line. Zach Manili forcing the save by Balducci. Jaguars with a quick clear.
2 more strides.
Yielding possession to the Indians. Schleiper on the attack for Peters. That's off the side of the net, and Schleiper thinks it went in. Did it? Yes, it did! Schleiper! No Schleiping! How did that get past Ben Balducci? That's off the side of the net, and Schleiper thinks it went in. Did it? Yes, it did! Schleiper! No Schleiping! How did that get past Ben Balducci? To Manili, just beyond that official's crease.
Good stick.
Carter Manili controls, fires and scores! Hold the plane for Minkus! Manili has tied the game at 3! And they're going bonkers here on the island! 75 ticks to talk in this one. Shub for Avancic. Avancic splits the D. Avancic to the goal! Oh, Balducci somehow stopped it. It's still the D. Avancic to the goal. Oh, Balducci somehow stopped it. It's still not enough. We'll have an ice cut. Peters Township with it. Shub for Holleran. Holleran off Balducci, and the rebound cleared quickly by Simon, but right to Monco, who fires it upstairs, and that just missed. Balducci, and the rebound cleared quickly by Simon, but right to Monco, who fires it upstairs, and that just missed. Caruso toward goal. Oh, what a save there by Balducci. Reading the deflection. Juggles that one and holds on. Lawadi between the circles. He fires on Balducci, who was square to that puck the whole time.
Well, it was
Paver ahead for LaMagna. LaMagna taken off the puck by Merrill.
We got a penalty upcoming. Cole Paver got a penalty.
New Paver.
Oh.
New Paver in the box for interference. Blows center point. Near side Michael. Michael on goal. Herman has it, and there is no rebound. Michael. That shot missing by Simon. New Paver is a free man, and he's got this puck for the Indians. Kovac going to the goal. New Paver shoots off the mask. New Paver scores! Cole New Paver pulls a Lloyd Christmas and totally redeems himself in overtime. Chris Claxon in the Peters Township on TenbandTV, but for now, I'm Matt Popchock, and that's all she wrote from the Clearview Arena, where the Peters Township Indians have rallied in overtime on Cole Newpaver's goal to defeat the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars 4-3. Seneca Valley versus Peters Township for the Class 3A Penguins Cup Championship next week. You've been watching it all.
It's a PIHL hockey night in Pittsburgh. It's a great day for PIHL hockey.